Hey, I start my live stream by blowing my nose. Hello, my friends. I am your friend. This is the author that you know, Cody C. Engdahl. I am the author, proud author of 5 novels and 2 nonfiction works, all available on Amazon. You can find the links to my author page down in the description below. And this is my YouTube channel. We are now using this to talk about or to explore the journey of independent writing and publishing and book marketing and all those things that I'm involved in, all the things that you might be involved in or thinking about being involved in, or you might be a reader who just enjoys seeing a little bit of behind the scenes of what goes on in being an independent micro publisher, I guess you can call me. That's right. I am the CEO, the Grand God Wizard King of Emperor of Engdahl House. House Engdahl. It's kind of like Dune. Who has gone out to see Dune, by the way? Dune 2. I'm a big fan of Dune. Admittedly, I saw the 1984 movie first, and I love it. I have it on DVD. I should bust it out and watch it again, although it's easier to just watch it off of, I think, Laura's got Netflix. It's on there or something like that. I saw the, I saw the, I'm getting way off. I'm already going off on a tangent. I saw the sci-fi miniseries. I didn't like it as much. In fact, it took me a couple times to watch it because I was not happy with what I was seeing. But eventually, it grew on me, and I saw the part one, and I thought it was good. I thought everybody in it was good. I thought it was fine. I didn't care that they race swapped and gender swapped Dr. Kynes. That actually worked for me. But my feeling in the end was, yeah, this is good, but I didn't feel like we needed it. I feel like, but I'd still rather see the one from 1984. But everybody's saying that the part two is even better. So I guess I'm gonna have to go see it. Laura doesn't want to go see it. She's got kind of like this mental block when it comes to sci-fi fantasy, and no matter how many times I try to explain it to her and show her the movies, she's just like, I just don't get, I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, well, all right, maybe it's just because you don't want to, which I understand. There's some, I don't understand what's going on with Sex in the City. Apparently, she thinks it's great. So to reach their own, I'm going to go watch it myself. Okay, I digress. Let's get on. We're 2 minutes and 41 seconds into this. Let's talk about it. So, the 2 topics I want to talk about today is that I did a show in Mississippi, military history and American Civil War show. We're going to talk about that experience and some of my tips and the things way I do this, and then we'll also talk about. I don't know if you're an author, but I have been having a rash of uh, poorly packaged author copies sent to me by Amazon, and they show up and they're banged up and they're beat up. I got one box where I had to return 6 of them. I returned those. They're pretty good about returning them, but the second box, I had to return 16, and it's getting out of control. So we'll get into that in a minute. But first, let's talk about the show. So I recently, I think I'll use. Let's see here. I'm going to let's see, share screen. Let's do share window. I like this better. Okay, so uh, and there we go. I'm sharing that. Let me see if I can see myself. Okay, great. In fact, I think I can do these both at the same time. All right, great, excellent. And thank you. There's a lot of like on the fly that I'm doing, so thank you for um, your patience as we go through this. So this is the show here. It's the I'm sorry. Hide this. Okay, hide, hidden. All right. Now, yeah, this is the 57th Mid South Military History and Civil War show. I I think I've been doing it now. This might have been my 4th year. I believe so. Don Harrelson is the one who invites me. They're very kind to me. They that typically what they do is they comp me a table, and in return, they ask me to play the fiddle throughout the day. and it really adds to the flavor. It's really interesting. My fiddle, it's just a regular, actually a cheap Chinese made fiddle, but still, solid wood. I mean, it's hollow, but no laminates. I think it's a maple sides, backs and side with a spruce top. I think that's what. I don't know. I'm not really good with the construction violins, but it does the job and it really sings out. And imagine I'm on this. This is a convention center, and I'm on the floor, and people all over can hear my fiddle throughout the entire den. And I got a lot of compliments. A lot of people came up to me and throughout the weekend, and they said, "Hey, I just want to let you know I really appreciate your playing, and I can hear it." And a lot of people say that it adds to the what's the ambience of it. So great, and so it's always kind of a well, we'll get into this year. They asked me to be one of the speakers, so there's me bragging about being the 11 a.m. speaker there, and I do they shortened my title, and that's fine. I call it A Brief History of the American Civil War Through Fiddle Tunes. That's my title. They went with the Civil War Through Fiddle Tunes. Okay, that's fine. But that was me at 11 o'clock. And so that was great because I feel like, the tables are $80. And I have kind of a policy where I just, even free, it's a little bit of a loss because this is in Mississippi. So, and it's 2 days. So I have to get a hotel room. Now, fortunately, I have Wyndham reward points because I do all this research work for different companies. And, they expense I have to travel a lot for that work, and that gets expensed. So I usually book hotels through Wyndham Rewards. And then what happens is I get the points. And then when I get something like this, where I'm working for myself, I can use my Wyndham my points to to get a hotel room. I stayed in an absolute dump. Let me just tell you this: if you value your life and your health, do not stay at the Travel Lodge near the airport in Memphis. Now, since I don't value either of those things, well, maybe my health, I still stay there because it's cheap. It's the cheapest. I get a room for 7,500 points. I didn't want to spend a bunch of points because I'm taking Laura somewhere on her birthday, and I want to use some of those up because I don't know with the current work I'm doing, I don't think I'm going to do a lot of traveling, so I don't want to burn up the points I have that quickly. So, but yeah. So the way this worked was here's the next picture. Let's see if I can blow this up here so that we don't need to see all this. No. Let's see, view. Okay. Well, you can look at that. It just has all the different things there, but it's just taking up unnecessary space. What does this do? Oh, look at that. That's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna turn. Oh, I see. It's finding all the print. Let's see if I can go. I want to just do like full screen or something like that, or at least full. I always show toolbar. No, let's turn that off. Let's not always show toolbar. Let's close the toolbar. Can we do that? No, can't do it. All right, we're stuck with the toolbar. So this was setting up. The show hasn't really started yet, but this is my table. And the Prussian Prince is new. It's my newest book. So I was able to. I got a flag. That's a Prussian a flag. That's a Kingdom of Prussia, pre-German Empire flag. The Pickelhaube, which is the spiked helmet I have there, that is it's a replica. It's not a perfect replica, but it's very similar to what they have in 1866, where the Prussian princes. But this is one side of my table. It's a long table. This is just one table, but I use the flag on one side to kind of separate the Prussian prince from everything else, and then I use a stained tablecloth on the other side, and I can show you. That's the other angle there, and you can see I have my my fiddle, And there's my tip jar. I got my soldiers out. These are all little Civil War soldiers. That always gets people attention. They like to stop and look at the little soldiers. This is my name. I got this from working at RTI. I went to do some training, and they, when I came into the classroom that we're using for training, they had my nameplate, or my a name card on where they wanted me to sit. So at the end of the training, I just took it, and now I just use it for shows, keep it back to myself. And then here are my books. So this is the trilogy right here. And here's Mexico, My Love, which is the prequel. And then, of course, here's so it's not a bad setup. Yeah, there's another look at that. Okay. Yeah. So it went fine. I get, I get my pitch down very quickly because I'm constantly people coming up and they're looking. And one of the things I realize I got to do is I got to let people know right away that that when they're looking at my books, I say to them, I'm the author, by the way, because so many people there are people selling books, but very few people are the actual authors. They're just booksellers. So that's always, a lot of times it's a surprise to people. Like, oh, really? And then they get a little interested. And then I go to my spiel. I said, this right here is a trilogy. It's heroes and villains on both sides. I got to say that because I live in the South and I'm a Yankee, and the 2nd Michigan Cavalry is written on it. And I got to let them know that I'm not just saying that you guys, the Confederacy was always the bad guys. I don't write that way. I write about people, so that not to scare them away by making it think that this is just me bashing on the South. But I say heroes and villains on both sides. It's about friends that get separated at the beginning of the war and end up on opposite sides. And throughout the war, their paths will cross. All the historical characters and aspects, especially the battles, are all true. And then my character are woven into it. And then I show them and then I point to the Mexico, My Love, and said, this is the prequel. It's about the parents. One of the characters is how they meet, fall in love, and run away together, end up in the Mexican War. And then the Prussian Prince comes after the trilogy. It's about a character who comes home to find that his German wife has left in his absence and gone back to Berlin. So he's got to go to Europe to get in contact, or reunited with her, and ends up in the Austro-Prussian War. So this guy right here, this is great. He's one of the vendors, and he bought that book about 10 minutes before we opened the doors to the public. So it was nice to sell one like immediately. Well, not immediately, but before the public even came in. This guy here, I think he's the only one who did this. This man bought all 5 books. And I got to tell you, like, when I wrote my second book, The Perils of Perryville, when I first, it was just Rampage, right? And I was selling those. And then I wrote Perils, and I gave people a deal because Perils is $12 and Rampage is $10. I'd say I'll give you both of them for $20. And so a lot of people took that deal, and I was like, wow, I can't believe how many people are taking that deal. They're buying both books, sight unseen. They haven't read the first one. The first one may suck, so, but on faith. And I was like, when the third one came out, which is Blood for Blood, I thought, okay, surely no one's going to do this. And, Blood for Blood, because I kept the book the same format as the first 2, so they fit together. But because of that, it made it really thick. It's almost 500 pages. And so that shot up the printing cost. And so that one goes for $17. I have to, that's the cheapest I can sell it for Amazon, because of expanded distribution and the printing costs. It's the minimum I can, well, I think I could probably sell it. Actually, I think it's even more than that now, because I think the prices went up. So I think online it's like $18.29. I couldn't even make it at $99 anymore. It's like $18.29 that the price went up. I still sell it $17 for myself. But if you buy the trilogy, I give you the whole trilogy for $35. So I think you save $4 if I remember the math right. So if you get 17, yeah, because you have a $10 book, a $12 book, and a $17 book, which I believe is $39. But you buy them all at one time, I'll sell it to you for $35. So then Mexico My Love came out, and I did a 6x9 format with that because it would be even more expensive than Mexico My Love or Blood for Blood. So so we went with a 6x9, and that reduced the page count by 100. See, that's what I mean by don't look at books by their page count, because with different fonts, the way it's formatted, that could be 200 words, 300 words a page. You don't know. So you really shouldn't measure books by pages. You measure books by word count, because you can screw around with page number, the number of pages, and you can make the book. You can make a short book bigger, and you can make a big book shorter by adjusting how many words you're stuffing onto a page. So that was so when that came out, that was down to $14. And I said, well, let's just make it easy. It's $35 for 3 of them. How about $45 for all 4? So that knocked down quite a bit if you get all 4. And still, people were buying all 4. So then finally, now the Prussian Prince, that one, I was able to go back to the smaller format here, because that one's just a little bit longer than the Perils of Perryville. Perils of Perryville is 69,000 words. I think it's 72 now that I added a preview in it. And the Prussian Prince is 76,000 words. So so it's a little longer, but I was able to keep the production cost down to $12. So we can sell those on Amazon and myself $12. So I was like, you know what, at this point, let's just add, it's just always another $10 for the next one. So $55 for all 5 books. And this man came up and he's like, I want all 5. And I was like, wow. And that's the first time I think I've seen that. It's hard to tell when you look at your Amazon sales, because sometimes I'll see like all 5 books sold, and I don't know, did all of them sell to one person, or did 5 different people buy one book? You know, you never know. But sometimes I wonder, like when I see like 5 at one time being sold, if someone bought all of them. So that's always, I always think that's like a show of confidence. So anyway, this guy bought all 5. I hope he likes them. I think he will. I mean, I feel confident in that now because I've been selling, you know, Rampage came out in 2019, and people always come back and read the next book and the next book. So my read through is pretty good. So I know that people are enjoying my books enough to buy the next one. So I feel pretty confident that if you're looking at the covers and you're reading the blurb and it looks like a book that you might like, it's going to be a book that you like. There's no surprises there. So he got all 5. That's the only set of 5 I sold. Then this guy here, he spent about an hour talking to the people at the table next to me. And when he got done, he just walked over and he goes, yeah, I'll take the trio. And this is what's interesting now. Now it's getting segmented. There are some people who buy all 5. I don't think I'll ever get people buying just 4 now. I think people either buy the trilogy, because this is a Civil War. I mean, it is a Civil War in historical history show. So it's mostly Civil War stuff, but there's other things as well. And so, but usually it's Civil War buff. So so the trilogy allows you to just say, hey, I just want the trilogy, the Civil War thing. And hopefully he'll read those and say, this is really great. I'd like to read the prequel, Mexico My Love, and the sequel, The Prussian Prince. So that's good. So that's day 1. I sold 9 books on day 1. Yeah, I sold 9 books. That's not great, but that's not too shabby. But you see what I mean? Like the profit margin is so low. When you count in the gas driving there, the hotel room, which of course I'm paying with points, but still those are points I could use somewhere else. The time, you know, Friday I got up at 5 a.m. and I was on the road by 6:45, and then I got there around 10 something, close to 11, set up and then worked my table. And it's work. Trust me, it's work. You're constantly talking to people. What's worse is you're constantly listening to people. And what I mean is like the people that come by and they want to tell you everything about their ancestor, but they're not buying in your books, and you have to sit there and go, and while you're going, people are walking by and they're looking at your book, and because you're locked into some guy who's got to tell you everything he knows about the Civil War or his great great grandfather, you're missing the sales are just walking by while this guy's just eating up your time. So 9 books is good. I'm happy to sell 9 books. I always say if I sell 1, it's worth it. And I'm very happy to have sold 9. But if you see what I mean, and I'll tell you this, I've had days where I've sold 30 books in one day, which is a great day. 9 books, that's fine. That was day 1. And also I thought, okay, well, day 1 is usually mostly the other exhibitors or presenters or whatever. It's everybody shows up before 1 o'clock and they're setting up their table. So a lot of it is other people coming in and they're looking around and they're checking out who's got what. And it's a shorter day. So selling 9 in that day, not bad. Saturday's the big day because the doors open at 9. We go all the way to 5 o'clock. And that's where you get most of your general public. And we had a good day. I'm showing you this picture right now because I thought this was interesting. I didn't put this on. I forgot to put this on social media, and I might not. But this is interesting. This is a side by side. This is an actual relic. This is an actual picklehub from. I don't know exactly when this one comes from, but it looks like it's 19th century. If you notice this right here, the bulb, I can't remember the bulb over the spike. I think the bulb might be artillery. I'm not quite sure. This is kind of your standard issue infantry. The spike is actually, I found this out. The spike is to deflect saber cuts. So imagine someone swinging a saber down at your head, and instead of like coming down and wedging into your helmet, it hits this brass and then kind of slides off, skips off your helmet and protects you. And I think this would do kind of the same thing. This is a replica that my mom bought me. This is the real thing. If you notice also, the real ones do have ventilation holes right there. And then if you look underneath the helmet, you can see where the air, the hot air from your head can escape and cool air can get in there. This one doesn't have any ventilation holes. The big thing is the eagle here. Pretty close. My eagle is a little bit more elaborate, but there's different versions of this eagle. The FR stands for Friedrich Rex. And Friedrich is Frederick the Great, who's kind of like actually, I think is Frederick the Great the third or the second. I know that either his father or his grandfather is Frederick as well. And I think the first Frederick is the one who took Brandenburg, Prussia, which was a duchy, and turned it an archdukedom and turned it to a kingdom, and became the first king of Prussia. I know that Frederick the Great is either his son or his grandson. Frederick the Great is the one who turned Prussia into a military power. So that's a throwback to the first Prussian king instead of archduke. And then the ribbon on there says in German, I'm not going to try to say it in German, but it says for God, King, and Fatherland. And then there's the Prussian eagle here. This one has a leather chin strap. Mine has, and this is also very popular. More of the fancy ones have this kind of brass fish scaling. But anyway, that's mine. That's one of the real ones. This one back here is I think belongs to a Courvoisier. It's heavy cavalry. And it has kind of a mullet built in. You can't see the rest of it, but the silver one back here, it's still, chrome. And back there, it extends down the neck. It's designed to protect It extends down the neck and then it kind of flares out like a mullet. And once again, that's to protect you. So when you're riding past or you're riding through another cavalry formation, it's to protect the back of your neck from a saber blow. Um, so this was the end of the day. The first day, I went to the Travelodge Hotel in Memphis, and my God, what a dump! There was a couple being thrown out for smoking weed in their room, and they were arguing. And I was worried that any given moment that guns were going to come out. There was a problem. I booked my room through Wyndham Rewards, and I could get like the most deluxe room possible with my points. So I said, okay, I'll get the best possible room because they all cost me 7,500 points. Well, there was a problem with, I guess the room that I booked was no longer available. So when I got there, they couldn't just put me into another room because the computer had it locked that I could only have that one room that I originally booked. And so it was a nightmare. They had me call Wyndham Rewards and they had to like fix it on the computer. And it was a nightmare. Finally got in the room. The room's cockroaches. It's worn down. It's the whole hotel is in decay and smells musty. But I went out and got some barbecue. The place that I had planned on going was closed down, like looks permanently closed down. So I went to another place, Marlowe's, which is actually, I've been there before. It's really good barbecue, very great staff. I got food. Laura and I had we usually spend Friday nights together. So we had one of our video dates. So a lot of times if I'm on the road and it's a night that we were going to spend together, we do a video chat. She pours herself a beer. I make myself a whiskey and then we just talk and then we get done and I eat my dinner and go to bed. So that night, it was a rough night because to be honest with you, I drank way too much whiskey, way too much wine, and then I had a big meal that was covered in barbecue sauce. It's full of sugar, and I had barbecue baked beans and coleslaw. That's full of sugar too. So I went to bed drunk. And what happens, and it happens all the time to me, is that all the alcohol burns off in a couple hours. And what's left is all the sugar from the whiskey, from the wine, from the barbecue sauce. So I wake up at like 1:30 in the morning. I'm just zinging. And I have all sorts of dreadful, bad thoughts in my head. Can't clear my mind. I try to do everything I can to fall back asleep. I don't think I ever fully went back to sleep after that. So then 5 o'clock came, got up. Got things kind of staged and then decided to try to sleep a little bit more between 6 and 6:30. And then I did. And then finally I said, okay, got to go. I mean, just sleep deprived. But I was in a good mood. So this is day 2. I decided to get these are not authentic. They're replicas, but I had a Union captain's jacket that I wear sometimes. I decided to make that part of my display. And I got a Kepi hat here. So I also decided to spread because I had a whole table. So I decided to spread out my display. So here's the trilogy, Mexico I Love here. Here's the Prussian flag. And then you can see the pickle hub in the background. These people here were selling women's dresses from the 19th century. Really cool. This guy's selling rifles and relics and all sorts of. You see people back here wearing the tricorns. Pretty cool. So then this is the first guy who bought my book, and it always takes like that first one to break the seal, and the other ones started coming. I did my talk. The talk went really well. I didn't have. There was a woman there taking pictures, and she's going to share those with me. So I'll share those when they come. So this young man, very handsome young man. He is going to join the Air Force, but he was interested in Mexico My Love. And I said, you know what? You could actually play the main character of this book when they make the movie. Because he's kind of how I imagine Diego, who's one of the main. I think Claudette is really the main character, and Diego is like the supporting character. Main supporting character, but he could play Diego for sure. Okay, but he's actually Welsh. And then, so he bought Mexico My Love, Oh, that's great. Someone to buy that one independent of the other ones. I loved it. What is that? It? Did I run out of? Oh, my computer's like freezing. What is going on here? Let's go back to the. Oh, okay. This is one of the bands. These guys are great. This guy here came in and listened to my talk, and he was very complimentary of my fiddle playing. I got this because I want to show a friend of mine who might who's a drummer, and and she plays like, I mean, she's like into like gothic and punk rock and stuff like that. But I think she would do other things. I think her dad is big in the country music scene. But I would like to get someone to play one of these. This is the washboard, and if you ever and this is the kind of music I play. This old timey music. Washboards are great instruments. They what they in essence do is they replace a snare drum. They give you they just think what a washboard is a snare drum. It's just a different way of creating the same effect. So this guy, so I took a little video of this just to get a sample. It's only 8 seconds long. I'll play it for you. So that he's drumming his fingers, and that's giving um that roll that you get when you play snare with sticks. Well, he can do that with his fingers by drumming like that, and then he's drumming them, and then and giving them a little bit of a swipe too. And I'll play that again. And a one, and a two, and a one, and a two, and a one, and a two, and a one, and a two. I think it's great. If I could get her to come out and do that with me, and maybe kick a drum pedal too, um, uh, I think that would be wonderful, and I'd love to have her come out with Paul and me and do things. So this is from day two. Let's see, and then I got a guy who bought just the Prussian Prince, and that really excites me because I don't necessarily think you like need to read the trilogy or need to read Mexico My Love. So the fact that people like him and this guy, they look at my books and they're like, yeah, I'm not interested in that, but I am interested in the Mexican War, or I am interested in the Austro-Prussian War. I think that's great. This is empty because these guys were kind of weirdos, man. They showed up late. They had a couple things in glass boxes. They had quite a few people come by and check them out, but they showed up late and left early both days. I don't know if they sold anything or not. This kid, man, wow, look at him. He came and talked to me early in the day, and then he said, "I'm going to come back." And I said, "Okay." And then I forgot all about him, and then he came back. But look at this big, beautiful country boy, man. This is that's what America's all about, man. That kid plowing a field with his John Deere tractor, reading some books about the American Civil War, sweet as can be. It's weird because if you don't know me in real life, I say I'm average tall. I'm average big, meaning I'm not excessively big, but I'm bigger than most people. So I'm 6'2", and I'm filled out pretty much. I'm 6'2". Yeah, I'm not 6'2" with like long skinny legs. I'm 6'2" with horse legs and thick thighs, and so I'm a full bodied 6'2", and like I said, 6'2" isn't like enormous, but it's always weird for me because I'm so used to looking down, not just physically. I'm just taller than everybody, and I don't even think about it. I don't even realize I'm taller than people. I don't even register to me, but it does. It does. It is kind of shocking to me when I am next to someone who's actually bigger than me, because I never really pay attention to it, but it's because it's so different that it's like, whoa. So this is a big boy right there. I hope he played some football in high school and college, because he could do it. And then I think this is my last one. So Don is the reason I'm there. Don Harrelson, he's a sweetheart of a man. He invites me to come back every single year. And at some point he took the Prussian Prince and wrote Blood for Blood at Nashville, and he set them aside. He goes, "I'm buying these, so save these two for me." I'm like, "Sure." So this is us packing up, and he came by and we took this picture. So okay, we'll get into that later. So anyway, that was it. So a couple things is, I would say this, if you want my honest opinion, it depends on what your goals are. I will tell you that I personally, okay, in the very beginning, I decided I did not want to get deep into the business of direct sales. Now I do direct sales. It first started with, there were people who said they wanted signed copies from me. So I bought author copies. Amazon supplies me with author copies. I just have to pay for the cost of printing them. That's it. They don't do any markup after that, which is quite wonderful. Which is why I feel a little bad about complaining about what I'm about to complain about. And then I got invited to do some events where I'd set up a table and I'd do signings. And I usually do pretty good. Like I said, even, on a good day. Oh, by the way, second day, only 8 copies. So altogether, I sold 17 books. Not bad, not bad. But what I want to say is this. Had I paid for my table instead of having it comped, it would have been a complete loss. It would have been a complete loss. Having it comped to me, I would say this. If I sold 17 books, I think they average around maybe $10 a book. Half of that's probably profit. So 17, I haven't done the numbers yet, but I probably ended up making $85 when everything is said and done. Right now, think about that. And the book and the table they wanted was $80. So that would have meant that I would have walked away with $5. But I spent about $50 in food. I didn't pay for a hotel room, but I used up something that valued a hotel room, which is my points that I could use for something else. If you think about time, the first day was definitely like a 12-hour day, because I left 5:45 and I drove out there, set up, worked my table all day, and worked till 6 o'clock. Or no, 6:45. And then worked my table to 6 o'clock and then tore down. So about a 12-hour day, and then about an 8-hour day. So that's about 20 hours. Even if I'm cheaply paying myself $20 an hour, that's $400 right there in my time. And by the time, I could have been doing other things. It could be writing. I mean, not just drinking and ogling my girlfriend, but doing other things, as like marketing my books, writing, all the other things I could be doing. You add in about $50 to pay for my food while I'm on the road. Like I said, I didn't pay for my hotel, but I kind of did with points. It's even free. It's at a loss. Now it's worth it to me because I meet people like this guy right here, like this guy, people who might go on to buy more books from me as I write and publish. So it is always worth my time, but it's not worth paying money for a table. And I had a situation with another show in which they comped to me my table two years in a row, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm very grateful, and they each year they asked me to come back the next year. I said, sure, absolutely. Well, this is a different show I'm talking about now, not this one. So let me put it on something else here. So so this year, this is Morgan on the Rim that I did in October. Let's see if we have maybe I have some pictures of that, because I don't want to denigrate the wrong show, and not that I'm denigrating it, but we'll just do that. There we go. So like a month out, I guess the city took over the show. A month out, they're like, they got a hold of me like, yeah, we need you to pay your table fee. I go, table fee. I don't pay table fees. I've been doing this for the last 2 years, and the table's always been comped to me for all the writers, and they said, no, not this year. You have to pay for it. And I said, okay. I said, well, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity, and I want to thank you for the times that I came out. It is not, it's not like fiscally, it doesn't make any sense money wise. It's if I'm paying for the table, it's a loss. It's a loss. If I'm getting it for free, I mean, if you think about it, it's like time and effort. It's a lot of work working that table 2 days in a row. Effort that I could be putting somewhere else. But if I'm paying for that table, then I'm just losing money flat out. And direct sales, and even if direct sales was my thing, paying for a table to sell 17 books is just, my profit margin is so low. These other guys are selling, rifle. They sell one antique rifle and they've paid for their table and their hotel room and everything. It doesn't work that way for me. So my thing is, and I don't mean this in a snotty way. It's just that it's at a loss if I pay for the table. So, and direct sales is not my focus. So if you're inviting me out there because you think me coming out there and selling and signing my books and providing music for the thing is worth your while, and it's worth it to you to comp me a table, sure, I'd love to come out to do it. And even if it's, a loss where I have to pay for my hotel room. And by the way, sometimes when I do talks, they pay for the hotel room. When I went to where was it? Illinois, to the Illinois Civil War Symposium. They paid for my hotel room. They paid for my travel. They paid for my meals. They took and gave me $500. Now, I'm not asking for that every single time. I'm not asking for that at all. I'm accepting it. And if it's within reason, I'll do it. But if I made this rule a long time ago when I was playing, they had the moonlight picking parties and they were charging people to come an entry fee. I don't pay to play. I might be willing to pay to play for free. I might. And there's sometimes I get paid and sometimes I don't. But I don't pay to play. And I don't pay to have a table because I can't make it back. And I won't enjoy myself. If I feel like I need to make my money back because I invested $80, some of them are like $150, I'm not going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be angry if my neighbors are putting their shit on my table on accident, and I'm going to be very protective of it. I don't want to go do the talk because that's a whole hour where I couldn't be selling the book. So for me, I don't pay to play. So if you want to give me a table, I'm happy to. Man, I'm happy. I'm gonna try to make your clients, your visitors happy too, and give them something interesting and talk to them and sell books and play fiddle and all that. But that's where I draw the line, because if it were $80, I'd rather stay home and spend $80 on Facebook ads and sell a lot more that way. So that's kind of enough my rant. So here comes rant part 2. Am I going the right way? Yeah, I'm going the right way. It's my friend Mike Vossich, and that's my little ad that I created for the show. That's all right. Here we go. I gotta move ahead here. Sorry. I've been having a problem with Amazon author copies lately, and it's very frustrating to me. Now, and I will say this. Before I start throwing Amazon under the bus, Amazon has made all my dreams come true. Amazon has given me the opportunity, of plenty of opportunities to follow my dreams of being an established author. They published me. They took a chance on me when I first published my first book. They sell my books worldwide for me. They give me distribution I would never have. I sell books all over the world. I sell mostly in the United States. The second biggest country I sell in is the UK, and I sell quite a bit there. And I've sold, and then a trickle in other places. I've sold in Japan, Australia, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and all sorts of places. Can't think of them all. So I'm very thankful for that. They sell me author copies I can sell on my own and stock local bookstores at cost. This is wonderful. They also went a step further. They like me. Because I'm a performer. My books actually sell pretty well on Amazon, and I've made them quite a bit of money. So they've interviewed me, to learn more about me and about how I do my marketing. I think it started off with a online survey that they asked me to take. Then they asked, "Can we interview on a video conference?" I did a video conference with them. Then they came back and they asked me if I would be a beta tester for the hardcovers before they offered it to other authors. I said, absolutely. Right now, I'm a beta tester for the AI audio. I said, absolutely. I jumped at that as well. And I will say this, Amazon is a business partner. And I really appreciate and care about my relationship with Amazon. That said, I used to be able to order books with confidence. And every once in a while, I got a book. If I had a book of 20, a box of 20, and maybe one or two has a little bit of a bumped corner, I'm not happy about that. I feel like they should be pristine, but I'm willing to tolerate it. But when I can see that whoever packed my books didn't care and was lazy and sloppy, well, that just pisses me off. And I don't feel right about selling books to people that are damaged because someone else didn't care. Now, Amazon is very, very generous with the return. Any problem, I return them, they're fine with it. But this is 2 packages in a row. The last one, there were 6 damaged because look at this. Someone just tossed these in. Some are laying down. Some are on their side. There's no rhyme or reason. And then there's just like a little bit of this crumbled up paper there to hold them in. It doesn't. I mean, when I picked up the box, I could tell the books were loose in there. And, these drivers, they're not gentle with the boxes. So this is the result. Like, this is one of the books right there. One of the books came out, and look at that. That's unacceptable. That was the worst of them. But since that was bad, look at this, and I understand, if I got a box of 20 and one was like this, okay, maybe, I don't want to nitpick, but this is look at this. And it's because someone didn't care. And then it's on me to sell that to someone, to push this book off to someone who pays a full price. It's unacceptable. So I think that's it. That's all I took pictures of. So I sent 16 back of the second one. And what's frustrating to me is they say, okay, no problem. And they refund me and they pay for shipping it back. But I don't want to do this every single box. I need to buy another box of Rampage on the River. And I don't want to have to send half of them back. And I don't want them to incur the cost. What's frustrating is I could describe, but there was no way I could send them the pictures. I did send them. I've heard Brian Cohen say that if you tweet at them, sometimes they'll pay attention. So I sent them these pictures. This is unacceptable. And what's interesting, I'll see if I can do this. What's interesting is I looking for other people. I shared this. Let's go back here. We'll do stop screen, and then we'll share screen again. Go to Facebook here. So this is my Facebook account. Let me just make sure I'm still sharing. Yep. Okay. So I shared this in a chat room. Here we go. Oh, good. I gotta follow Judy back. She looks like an author. I went into the. I'm a big fan of Brian Cohen. He's and this is he does a lot of things that I can't even keep track of it. And by the way, I'm in the running for a job with him, being an account manager for their ad agency. They have an author ad agency that is for authors who are making $6,000 in royalties or more a month. Um, you, you don't qualify unless you're making at least that much. And since I don't quite qualify for to be a client, I applied to be an account manager. I made it through the first round of interviews. I'm on the second round. I got some tasks I got to do for them this week, and I'm really hoping it's a part-time job. It's not going to be like a full-time thing that's going to like answer all my financial problems. But I feel like this would be a great thing for me because I already want to be like a guru and I like helping other people. So I'm hoping I get this job. But he's got a podcast called the Sell More Book Show. It comes out every Wednesday, and I don't think he's missed a date since. Let's close this stuff down. All sorts of my computer's dying. Chat about what's important. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so this comes out. So I'd highly recommend the Sell More Book Show. It's every Wednesday. Anywhere you get your podcast from, you should sign up. It's only about a half hour, probably less. So it's not a lot of your time. And if you're in the business of writing and selling books, you should definitely follow this. So I went there because this one is usually open. And as long as you're not spamming it with like self-promotion, they'll let you do what I just did here. And it's a closed group. Yeah, you have to join it and they have to accept you. But I wrote, has anyone else had the issues with damaged author copies from KDP? They used to package them well, but lately I've had to return multiple copies each shipment because someone is just dumping them in an ill-fitted box with minimal packaging material. Amazon is great about returns, but I can't be making trips to the UPS store after every shipment. And sometimes I'm counting on those books for an upcoming event that I can't wait for returns. What is going on? And of course, I shared the pictures here that, my damaged books that came with that. And wow, did I strike a chord? Because a lot of authors, yes, every shipment. This woman posted this is an Amazon worker who apparently doesn't take his job very seriously. Here's another one. Yup. And she's showing a damaged box. Now that might be something that's, damaged in shipment. Let's see if I can. It's never just easy, is it? It's never just easy. I want to read the comments. They're not showing all the comments. Few more comments. That's what it is. This is what's so frustrating about the world we live in. They always change how you do things. How about sometimes you get books that are well packaged, other times not so much. My last shipment arrived sopping wet. I can't sell wet books, so I returned the entire box because even the books that weren't wet had wavy, water, damaged paper. Yes. Here's another one. Yes, I sent several back for that reason. And I think we as authors should be doing this because I feel like this is unavoidable. If you just have some policies, there are boxes, they have set dimensions for the books. So if you just get a box that fits the dimensions, like I'm going with 8x5, 5.5 by 8.5 is the new dimension of my books. If you just created boxes that they fit in there very neatly and then just put the shipping material around so they don't move around, they wouldn't have this problem. But these were just dumped in a big open box where they were just tossed around as it was shipped. Here's another one. Happens most of the time for me. I'm waiting for a delivery now and I'm dreading it because they're books for a signing I'm doing on the 16th. Linz, I feel for you. I hope you get them. Here's Victoria. I just received an order. They were perfect. Sorry about your damages or damaged shipment. And I thanked her. Roland writes, I just got 20 perfect copies. Sorry you're having issues. And I thanked him as well. Melissa says, all the time, lol. I never have to return damages. They refund. So I just, wait a minute. All the time. I never have to return damages. They refund. So I just sell at a discount, but I had to send a bunch direct to Amazon to a flying signing, and I'm terrified, already expecting a blend pile at my table. Yeah, and I get selling the damaged copies. The problem is I'm not set up for that. Someone else said something like they sell the damaged copies on eBay, and yeah, but I don't want to work that hard. I just want it, if I damage them, that's one thing. And I have. Um, I've missigned ones that I've given away, but I should at least get copies that are not damaged from Amazon, um, that I can sell. And I don't think it's it. I think they can do that if they just it's the if they just have a little care a little bit more, the people in the warehouse packaging them, and they need to lean on those people. And that's why I want to send pictures. So hopefully I get that. I get that taken care of over the next, by the next. I'm going to be ordering another box of Rampage soon, so we'll see how well they do. I think I'm going to have enough of the Prussian Prince now between the two boxes of the ones that weren't damaged for the next event. As far as me, events, let's do this. Stop sharing screen, present, share screen, and let's see, let's do a window. Let's see, open that up. And no, it's okay. We'll share that. And let's see here. No, set list. Probably showing you way too much. Gig list. There we go. There's my gig list. There's my Giga Chad gig list. Let's see here. So I've done. This is what I got in the books right now. I've done that show. The next thing is I have a talk on the 21st in Memphis in Germantown at a Sons of Confederate Veterans. It's open to the public, so you don't have to be a son or a daughter of a Confederate veteran to join us. So that's March the 21st, and then the next thing is on April the 6th. I'll have something going on then. That's another Sons of Confederate Veterans talks. That's in Mississippi, and the reason why I do a lot more of those than Sons of Union is because there are a lot more Sons of Confederate Veterans in the South, right? Because it's the South, so mostly it's Sons of Confederate Veterans. They're always very nice. It's not what you think it is. It's just nice people who had ancestors who fought in the war that are keeping their memories alive for whatever reason they fought, And by the way, if you didn't know this, the Confederacy had a very, very strict conscription laws. And so every man of fighting age, unless he could buy his way out, had to fight. There's something on the 27th. More about that later. May 2nd, I am going to be a guest. I don't know when it's going to come out, but I'm going to be interviewed by Matthew Harvey and Stephen Mackay on Rock, Paper, Swords. If you don't know, both of them are very successful writers. They write like Anglo-Saxon Viking era novels and some other ones. So Matthew's got a Western, like cowboys, that he just wrote, and he's sending me an advanced reader copy that I'm going to read. And we're still working out the technical issues of him sending it to me, but I'm going to be reading his novel and reviewing it. So that's coming up. I'm very excited about that. And the other news I could tell you right now is that I'm going to start writing the French Fiasco. I don't know if that's going to be the name of it, but probably will, because I like alliteration. And that's it. Things are going well. I'll tell you that the Prussian Prince is the best launch I've had so far. I'm hoping I beat my first month, and I beat my first week. The first week and the first month are the best yet. Second, third, and fourth weeks, I didn't beat my record on those, but I sold so much on the first week that I still did better for the month. And I only really keep track of it up through the first 5 months. So I definitely have a shot at beating my 5 month record. After 5 months, I no longer feel like it's a launch anymore, and now it's just one of the novels that I have, and things kind of go back to the doldrums. So that's where I am. The French Fiasco will probably come out a year from this spring or early summer is kind of what I'm shooting for. The one good thing about being an independent is I don't have anybody else giving me deadlines but myself. But my goal is to put out a book. I would say at the extreme, it should be 6 months to 4 years between book launches. That's the extreme. But what I feel is the Goldilocks, the sweet spot is at the soonest 9 months, at the latest 2 years. So my goal is to get a book out between 9 months and 2 years. Right now, I'm averaging. I don't know if I don't call it average, but it seems like I'm tracking to be just a little over a year. I think the last book took me about 14 months altogether, so a year and two months. I can't remember what the other ones were. I'll have to look that up because that's an interesting. That's an interesting stat that I can look at. Is what's my average? But I'm basically hitting that spot between 9 months and 2 years. My goal also is to hit right around 80,000 words. My first book was 56,000. The second one was 69,000. Then we leaped way past it. And my third book was 119. And my fourth book was 124. So this last book was 76,000 words. So I'm kind of playing horseshoes here of trying to get it right around that sweet spot. I think it's good for readers. I think it's good. I'd rather have more books that are around 80,000 than more books that are over 100,000. Or I'd rather have more books that are 80,000 words than less books that are over 100,000, 120,000. If that makes any sense. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Please give me a hit like. I could use a subscription. It doesn't cost you anything. It just is, if you subscribe to my channel, you just see when I'm live, and you don't even have to do the notifications. If you go on like subscriptions when you're on YouTube, it'll show you that I got a new video up. And if you got an author out there that you like, make sure that you're giving that author 5-star reviews on Goodreads and Amazon, and write them give them 5 stars or how many stars you feel necessary that you're willing to give up, and write a couple. You don't have to write a big detailed review. You can just write a couple. You can say loved it, couldn't put it down, whatever. Give them a review, give them some stars, and you'll really help them out. And I know that I appreciate it when I get it. So love you guys. Have a great week. We'll probably be back. I don't have any like big news coming up, so I know I've been doing a lot of these very frequently. If I will do them as I have something come up, otherwise I will probably revert back to like once a week on Sundays. All right, take care, love you, and happy reading, happy writing too.